This is Why Am I a Mets Fan? A podcast hosted by Samantha Croston and Ashley Wenskowski.
What did you think about just what you've seen from him over the past week that he's been up there?
So I'm not surprised at all that Luisangel is succeeding up there to start for a couple of reasons. A, when really talented potential future superstar prospects get called up, they often succeed early on because the other team doesn't have the scouting report on them, right? So they're throwing breaking balls down the middle or fastballs down the middle because they think, oh, this is some young guy up from AAA. He's not going to do very well. And often they crush it. So A, I'm not surprised by that. But B, also, I'm not surprised that Luisangel is doing so well because we saw the flashes. Like, Mets fans would see the OPS and the strikeouts and go, oh, he's having a terrible year. I watched every game he played. He was not having a terrible year. He is a dynamic player. I knew as soon as he got up there, Mets fans would fall in love with him because he is fast and he does swing just like his older brother. And he does have deceptive power. He's an intoxicating player because of the speed, of the power, because of everything coming together. Now, will it last? Will he play a huge role in these final few games for the Mets as they lock down a playoff spot? I'm not so sure because as soon as Francisco gets healthy, Acuña probably returns to a bench piece, but he is a very valuable bench piece in the sense that he can play outfield, infield, and he's ridiculously fast. So he is going to be a pinch runner in these pivotal games down the stretch. So I'm not surprised he's succeeding at all because we saw the flashes here in AAA all year. It was just about him putting it together consistently, and at least for one glorious light last night, he sure did.
All right, two more questions for you. The first is, you touched on this a little bit, but what is one thing that you think Mets fans are seeing now that you knew about him all along?
I knew he's just unbelievably dynamic. Like, the thing about baseball to me is we get so enraptured by the numbers and exit velocity and FIP and Lord knows whatever number they're throwing out there to us now. And I get it. Like, I enjoy it. I think there's a place. But to me, the beauty of baseball is that famous photo of Aaron Judge standing next to Jose Altuve at second. 6'7" behemoth from Northern California next to a 5'6", probably not even that tall guy who is making things happen for the Houston Astros. Luisangel Acuña is the type of baseball player that you fall in love with. He's short. He runs like these little pistons up and down, running to first and second base. He's unbelievably fast. He's got that deceptive power. And he's a backyard player in the sense that you can stick him in center, you can stick him at short, you can stick him at second base, and he's going to play them all relatively well. So I'm just not surprised to see him doing what he's doing and Mets fans falling in love with him because he is the type of guy where you watch him and numbers be damned. He's just a really fun baseball player.
The only other thing that I wanted to ask you, and I was actually looking on my phone because I want to find it. This is something that Ashley sent to me. If I can find it for you fast, that I was like, this is actually hilarious. But it was essentially a tweet of some sort from a Mets fan saying, the fact that we have now one Acuna on our team who is going to help us conquer the Braves and get into the playoffs is the thing of dreams. Just what can you say about that? And as someone who covers him and follows him, what do you think about that relationship?
Well, they definitely have one. I mean, Ronald was tweeting about his brother any chance he gets. He's putting on his Instagram story every time he's getting a hit. So I think the best way to think about this, right? Everyone likes to make fun of Nepo babies now. Lord knows in our industry, there's a lot of people with experience, moms, dads who had people in the industry. But the reason why Nepo babies get hired and they often succeed is because they were just around it their entire lives and they know what to expect when they get into that heightened level. And candidly, they just know, like, hey, there may be a few extra butts in the seats. There may be a few more people paying attention to me, but it's the exact same as Syracuse or Binghamton or Brooklyn or any of these other levels that Acuña was playing at. So I think that's the benefit he has, is he has a brother who can say, hey, man, this is what to expect. Hey, this is better. Candidly, this is worse than it was when you were in AA and AAA. So it's all this little stuff that the average person who may not have somebody who played Major League Baseball in their lives, Ronald can give him these little bits of advice like, hey, man, this is what to expect. Here's what you can do to keep getting better. Here's the stuff that you're doing really well. Keep doing it. So that's the benefit of being a quote unquote Nepo baby, is you've got all these inherent benefits in your life of it's not foreign to you. You know what's coming. And because he has a brother who was literally the National League's most valuable player last year, Luisangel can know what's coming.